said, "Hey, Shawn." And I said something friendly to him. And then he just stepped out of the dressing room and he goes, "Why would I talk to you after you haven't said a word to me in a month or something like that?" And he cut a big promo on me and he walked out past me in the dressing room. I was really surprised. I remember like that kind of put me back on the whole fighting mode. Now I'm going to fight him again. I remember Crush, Brian Adams, was one of the guys that heard what he said. And he said to me, he goes, "I can't believe he just said that to you." And I walked past Crush and I walked up and I remember I just pushed him right against the wall, and he stood up, and we ended up kind of tying up. So I just grabbed Shawn by the hair, right here and right here, right by the bull horns. And I thought I was in the Olympics and I was doing like a hammer throw. I think Shawn's feet were actually off the ground and I was just spinning around. That was our fight. And Jerry Lawler and Pat Patterson were right there, and they just jumped in and jumped on top of both of us. And from there, it was just a pull apart with Shawn trying to pull a bunch of my hair out. Thankfully, I had lots to work with. Shawn, unfortunately, didn't have that much to work with, and most of his hair was like a tumbleweed. It was like a big giant tumbleweed. And I've had more people talk to me about that clump of hair that Shawn left behind. And they pulled us apart. There was a bunch of wrestlers. I remember Pat Patterson pleading with Davey Boy to help. Davey couldn't have walked over slower to help break up that fight. And that was really all it was. And then Shawn stood up and cut a big promo on everybody and told Vince that it was an unsafe work environment, and he stormed out of the building. And I remember Vince told me that night, he said, "I should have stepped in sooner, that I knew this was going to happen. I take responsibility for it, and I don't blame you. I blame myself." And I said, well, it was all about the sunny days with Mark and all that. We went back and forth. Because I asked Shawn, "Why would you say something that would be hurtful to my family?" And he never did answer that question. And it's funny, I don't want to say anything to add on to all that, but it turned out, if you listen to the Sunny side of things, the only one she was seeing was Shawn Michaels. So I always felt I was right, but I felt bad that we, wasn't professional.